Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Amina Jibril. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Icecomsat. The National Assembly Joint Committee on Interior has queried the Federal Fire Service over identified discrepancies in the agency's 2025 budget proposal. The committee stepped down the service's budget defense as a result of the irregularities. This happened when the FFS Controller General Jaji Idris appeared before a sitting co-chaired by Senator Adams Oshomole, chairman of the Senate Committee on Interior, and his House of Representatives counterpart Abdullahi Ahmed to defend the 2024 budget performance and 2025 proposal. Also, the National Assembly Joint Committee on Agricultural Production and Services has reiterated its support for the National Agricultural Development Fund, NADF, as part of its broader strategy to enhancing food security in Nigeria. The Executive Secretary and CEO of NADF, Mohammed Ibrahim, said in a statement that the reaffirmation came during the NADF budget defense, where lawmakers pledged to strengthen the fund's effort in boosting the nation's agricultural sector. He added that the legislators commended the NADF for its significant strides in 2024, particularly in facilitating sustainable agricultural development across the country. And a federal high court sitting in Lagos State has restrained the Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC) from arresting vehicles with faded number plates. Justice Akintayo Aluko made the order and also restricted the FRSC from imposing any fine or punishment on any driver or drivers for driving with a faded vehicle plate number. The court made the orders while delivering judgment in the suit filed by legal practitioner Chinwike Chamberlain Ezebube against the FRSC. The Nigerian Immigration Service (NIS) has issued an alert on the emergence of a new sector, Child Life Mission International, which is said is neither linked to Islam nor Christianity, but preaches restoration of African tradition. This is contained in a circular dated 14th January 2025 and signed by the Principal Staff Officer PSO to the Controller General Dr. Adedotun Aridigbe, a Controller of Immigration Service. The service urged all its directorates, zones, training institutions, commands, and border formations to take note, adding that the sect has its headquarters in Kaduna, while its leader, Wan Yokana, lives in Jos, noting that the sect might be involved in human trafficking and child separation. And operatives of the Benin Zonal Directorate of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, have arrested 25 suspected internet fraudsters in an alleged cybercrime training center in Benin City, Edo State. A statement by the commission said the suspects were arrested at their hideout, and according to the anti-graft agency, the arrest was triggered by credible intelligence that indicated the apartment was being used as a Yahoo Academy, a training school for internet-related fraud and other fraudulent activities. Also, suspected internet fraudsters have shot dead and operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, in Anambra State. According to reports, the incident occurred on Friday in Onitsha, the commercial hub of the state. As eyewitnesses say, the internet fraudsters, otherwise known as Yahoo Boys, suddenly opened fire on the EFCC operatives during an operation in the area. Apart from the slain anti-graft operative, one other officer and a few residents present during the attack sustained gunshot injuries. Also in the news, Presidency has announced that starting from the end of January, local government areas across Nigeria will begin receiving their allocations directly from the Federal Allocation Account Committee, FAC, marking a significant step towards local government autonomy. Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, on public communications, Sunday, Dari made this disclosure, reiterating President Bola Tinubu's commitment to implementing the Supreme Court's July 2024 judgment, which declared state control over local government funds unconstitutional. Despite the ruling, implementation had been delayed to ensure proper mechanisms were in place, but Dari confirmed that these arrangements are now complete, paving the way for local government to begin receiving funds directly by the end of January. And President Bola Tinubu has thanked members of the Nigerian Governors Forum, NGF, following their unanimous endorsement of the 4 tax reform bills currently under consideration by the National Assembly. He lauded the governors for their bold leadership and commitment to fostering unity among leaders nationwide. Tinubu's special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, disclosed this in a statement. President Tinubu said the consensus transcends regional, ethnic, and political barriers to advance Nigeria's development. And the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has announced that electricity lines supplying power to various parts of Abuja have once again been attacked and damaged by vandals. The company, in a statement signed by its public affairs manager, Ndidimba, said the incident occurred in the early hours of Friday at the 132 kV transmission line and underground cable transmitting bulk power to the 132 kV central area transmission substation, Katampe, in the central area of Abuja. Similarly, the Gombe State Police Command paraded 4 suspects in connection with a case of theft of armored cables from a community transformer in Haim Misal quarters. The suspect, Abdul Qadir Abdullahi, a 25-year-old, Abdul Malik Hassan, aka Gambo, a 25-year-old, Nafiu Babayo, also a 28-year-old rather, and Abubakar Megari, a 32-year-old, all from Haim Kwari Misal and Tudunwada quarters, were arrested on Thursday. According to Gombe State's Public Relations Officer, the Deputy Superintendent of Police, Buhari Abdullahi. An American military veterans of Igbo descent, Avid, has warned that Southeast governors risks a range of U.S. presidential sanctions, including travel ban and confiscation of assets on U.S. soil over their alleged complicity in the continued detention of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu. The warning is coming on the heels of the alleged reluctance of the governors to jointly write a demand by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu requesting the release of Kanu to them. Avid, a body of retired and 7 military officers of Igbo extraction in the North and South American military, in a statement by its president Sylvester Onya and secretary Godson Obiagu, expressed displeasure at the reluctance of the governors to advance to the president the said letter, accusing them of non-committal towards Kanu's release. Elsewhere in the news, Brazil has formally announced Nigeria's admission as a partner country in the BRICS alliance. The Brazilian Foreign Ministry made the announcement in a statement, making Nigeria's BRICS 9th partner country, joining Belarus, Bolivia, Cuba, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Thailand, Uganda and Uzbekistan. The statement says the Brazilian government welcomes the Nigerian government's decision. And you're watching the live broadcast of Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. When the news returns, Manchester United to demolish Old Trafford. We shall bring you details of that, as well as foreign and business stories right after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and thank you for staying tuned. If you're just joining, it is Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. And now we move on to the business scene, where the Federation account revenue has been shared to the federal government, state and local government councils. This is according to a statement by the Director, Press and Public Relations Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, Bawa Mokwa, stating that the revenue was shared at the January Federation Account Allocation Committee FAC meeting in Abuja. The communique indicated that total gross revenue of 2.310 trillion naira was available in December 2024, adding that total deduction for cost of collection was 84.780 billion naira, while total transfers, interventions and refunds were 801.17 billion naira. The National Pension Commission, PENCOM, has mandated the provision of bank verification numbers, BVN, for all retirement savings accounts registrations and data recapture processes. This directive, signed on January 9, 2025, will come into effect on February 1, 2025. In a circular addressed to all licensed pension fund administrators and signed by PENCOM's head of the Surveillance Department, A.M. Salim, the Commission directed that BVN must be mandated for processing new RSA registrations and recapturing data of existing RSA holders. Nigeria targets an export market of up to $79 billion through the expansion of our export capacity with the African Continental Free Trade Area Framework. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, said this at a high-level roundtable on the country's implementation of the AFCFTA protocols in Abuja, featuring the AFCFTA Secretary General Wamkili Mene. Oduwole praised Nigeria's participation in the development of AFCFTA and leadership in the implementation of the trade agreement. And the pump prices of premium motor spirits, popularly called petrol, have risen to between 1,050 naira and 1,150 naira per litre, depending on the area of purchase. This is coming after the hike in the cost of the commodity by the Dangote Petroleum Refinery and various depot owners. Dealers confirmed that PMS prices would continue to rise since the major component in fuel production, crude oil, has been on the upward swing lately. From that, now we move on to the foreign scene, where Israel's cabinet has voted to approve a Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal. The office of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stated this, bringing an end to uncertainty about whether the truce would go into effect this weekend. The ceasefire, set to begin on Sunday, would halt fighting and bombardment in Gaza's deadliest ever war. Impeached South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol arrived at court for the first time to attend a hearing that would decide whether to extend his detention as investigators probe his failed martial law bid. Yoon, who has claimed his arrest is illegal, threw the nation into chaos on December 3rd when he attempted to suspend civilian rule, citing the need to combat threats from anti-state element. South Korean courts will weigh whether to extend the detention of impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol after investigators arrested him over a failed martial law bid. United States law enforcement agents have carried out exercises using barbed wire and concrete blocks at a crossing on the border with Mexico as tensions crept up ahead of President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration. Vehicle crossings on an international bridge connecting Texas were halted for about 40 minutes while U.S. Customs and Border Protection (CBP) officers reportedly carried out training. According to reports in El Paso, the exercise began in 2019 and is aimed at ensuring that agents are prepared for potential border incidents. A Russian strike has killed 4 people in the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. Officials say the strikes in what the country's foreign minister called a heinous attack with ballistic missiles left at least 3 more wounded, while a separate overnight strike on the southern city of Zaporizhia wounded 10. Kyiv is frequently targeted by Russian drones and missiles, but deaths are rare in the capital, which is heavily protected by air defense systems and better able to fend off attacks than elsewhere in the country. And out to the world of sports. Players and officials of the Yimba FC have expressed belief that their CAF Confederation Cup journey will be revived on Sunday in Cairo, Egypt, after a disappointing draw against Al Masry in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State last week. Yimba must secure all 3 points in their final Group D match against Egyptian powerhouse Zamalek to keep their quarter-final hopes alive. The People's Elephants are currently third in the group with 5 points and face the daunting tasks of defeating the group leaders in Cairo, while also hoping Al Masry fails to beat Black Bulls. The prospect of a new 100,000 capacity Old Trafford and the demolition of Manchester United's historic home has taken a major step forward after a task force delivered its recommendations. Reports gathered say key figures at the Premier League giants are hopeful that enabling work could start on the project before the end of this year. The group were charged with examining whether United should refurbish Old Trafford or build a new state-of-the-art replacement on adjoining land, and can now be revealed that they have found that a redevelopment of the existing stadium, which has stood in place since 1910, would be limited to 87,000, whereas a world-leading new venue would maximize potential and serve as the centerpiece of one of the biggest regeneration projects Britain has ever seen. And Georgia winger Kachiva Kvaratskhelia has completed a move to Paris Saint-Germain from Italian league leaders Napoli. The French champions announced this and saying in a statement announcing the signing of the 23-year-old winger, who will wear number 7, and he becomes the first Georgian player in the club's history. No transfer fee was revealed, but media reports in France said the Parisians would pay 70 million euros, which is equivalent to $72 million, not including potential bonuses for the player. And now in tennis, Iga Swiatek demolished Emma Raducanu to sweep into the last 16 of the Australian Open as 38-year-old Frenchman Gael Monfils stunned fourth seed Taylor Fritz. Also on day 7 in Melbourne, American qualifier Leonard Tien won in straight sets to reach the second week and extend his fairy tale run. World number 1 Jannik Sinner will step up his title defense in later action. Meanwhile, in a one-sided battle of former U.S. Open champions, Swiatek ramped to a 6-1, 6-0 triumph in a statement victory as she pursues a first Melbourne crown. And that's it on Global Television's Midday News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on StarTimes channel 276, and free-to-air on Nightcomsat. Kindly follow us across social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. I am Amina Jibril. Thank you for watching and good afternoon.